Hello, welcome to Inside the CRCLE with me, Montana Fouts. Today I want to cover one of my favorite topics to talk about, and that's my favorite qualities in a coach. And I just think it's so special, and these people are so special that choose to lead, take time with their and energy, not only with their time, but their heart and who they are as a person just shines through everything that they do. And I just think that it's such a vulnerable position to be in, and you get to impact so many different people in their lives. So I want to talk about some of my favorite qualities and give you some good examples. But I just think that that's so special when people create a space that can be demanding, but yet vulnerable at the same time, because I feel like that just allows us as athletes, as players, and whatever sport that you're in, to really be yourself. And the sooner that you can be yourself, the best is yet to come. And not is that just a phrase for me. I feel like I use it all the time now, which I think is so funny because at some point in my career, I just it would be like an eye roll or be like, yeah, sure. No offense, Coach Murphy. But at some point, I remember feeling that way where it's just like, he just says that just to say that. And I think it's so awesome that you have people at these years in your life as a player that these are some of the most impactful years that you'll ever have as a human being as you're growing up. And to coaches, like, you have the opportunity to be that. And I just remember some of the most character building times of my life that was either in a note, in a hug, a pat on the back, whatever it is. Maybe it was a butt ripping, I don't know. But it was always told to me, the best is yet to come. And I kind of want to talk to you guys about how I feel and how I view that and what that means to me. But speaking of coaches, just like when you create a space, not just on, but off the field, of standard of excellence. And what I mean by that is just in the way that you do things, the way that you talk to other people, the way that you pick up your trash, but also other people's, like the way that you are a person, not just a standard of excellence on the field. I feel like that is pretty much a given, especially now in the way that sports are in the world is that if you play a sport, more than likely you're playing it all the time. And you expect to be excellent all the time. So like there is a standard of excellence. What that looks like depends on probably the person, but there has to be a standard of excellence of who you are outside of that. And when a coach can not only enforce that and demands, you know what, like if you're going to be a part of this squad, you are going to be the best person that you can be. We're not going to give 50% on the field, and we're not going to give 50% as a human being. Okay. So not only whenever you enforce that, but when you can live that, I feel like as a leader, people are looking to you for, like, they're watching your actions or watching how you speak, not only to them, but other people. So when you are a coach, and that's one of my favorite qualities, that you, like, they're egoless and they're selfless and they're servant leaders, which is something we said all the time. That really bleeds off into your players. So they watch the way that you talk to umpires, to other parents, to other coaches, all of the above. And I think it's so important that if you want that standard on the field of excellence, it's to create that space off the field as well. Because we talk about the character building years. I mean, this is a whole roller coaster at the end of the day. Like if you are playing any sport, specifically softball, or just in life in general, if you pay attention to anything, I don't know. In my life, it feels like a roller coaster sometimes. It's so important to have like that constant love. I just feel like at the end of the day, if you're leading with love, you cannot go wrong. You create a space that has trust, has loyalty, has just the well-being of a person first. You are creating a family, right? Like that culture piece is so important. And that goes well beyond your years of softball. And I say that as somebody that's still playing softball and still has the opportunity to be a part of amazing teams. And I feel like the older I get, the more that I can see it. And I really tried to build on that because I know how special that is. But even in years, especially for coaching a younger group of people, where that's not necessarily at the forefront of our brains when we're 10 years old and playing. But if you build that, you're building a relationship with something that's going to last forever, because the best is yet to come, which we're going to get back to that. But if you are wearing your heart on your sleeve as a coach, I think that's something that's so awesome. Obviously done with some grace, right? But you're creating a space that allows players to be themselves. And whenever you can be yourself and still know that you're going to be loved at the end of the day, that is something so special. And it allows you to be comfortable in the uncomfortable. And I've said this before, but I think that it's so important to kind of talk on that a little bit. When you create a space that allows people to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Yeah, I said that right. It's kind of a tongue twister. But comfortable in the uncomfortable just means like we're surrounded with uncomfortable decisions all the time. Uncomfortable opportunities, like, you know, not arenas, but stadiums full of people, or like public speaking, or just in a situation where I need to be vulnerable just with my teammates, whatever it is. If you attack everything with clear communication and you're honest and there's love and you're giving everything that you have, you're creating a space that somebody can just be themselves and be comfortable taking that risk, being comfortable, willing to fail, whatever it is. You create that space, then the energy is just flowing through there. Like, it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So especially as a woman in sports, I just think it's so awesome to see me and my teammates, like, as we just get older, everything that we do now, everything that we are now is a direct correlation of things that have happened previously and how situations are handled. And I see that in my own relationships with my husband, or as a daughter with my siblings, teaching other people now. It's not because I came up with this by any means. Like, I can literally credit majority, if not all, of the coaches I've ever had. Specifically, I want to shout out Murph, just because I feel like the way that you say things to other people, especially to a young lady, is so important. You are a mother or father figure in their life, be it one way or the other. You just are. So the way that you are shaping their brains is so important. So I want you to keep that in mind and see that first. When you see somebody maybe not doing something fully on the field and we want a little extra effort, I encourage you to attack that with love. Of course, have that standard of excellence, but keep it off the field as well. I know that the best coaches with structure and encouragement, vulnerability, and that standard of just who you are as a person, that is forever. They understand that what we're doing right now is temporary. And I'm not putting that to put anything down or undermine anything. Like, obviously, I love to play and I love to compete, and every game is super serious for me as far as like I'm a competitor. However, whenever your leader is at the top, like, I'm here to guide you, right? Not only on the field, but understand that this is temporary. And that is probably one of my all-time favorite things, and things that I look back on my life all the time now, is because the best is yet to come, right? I feel like a while ago, I used to think it was just in the bad times, right? Like something that you say to encourage other people, right? Where it's like, yeah, but like the best is yet to come. Like, just keep your head up. Like, it's going to get better. And while that is true, I feel like it's also the case when things are maybe going really well too. Like, don't sit in a moment too long, or like when that moment passes, be super sad it's over. Like, no matter what, if we're learning in situations, we're growing, we're going at everything with love, the best is yet to come. Like, whatever situation that you're in. And I kind of wanted to tell the story of that, and how in my brain it's came a little bit full circle, because so many times we talk about, and I think this is hard whenever you're probably dealing with somebody that's super stubborn, and just feels like their personality and who they are as a person is direct correlation of how they perform. Because that was me at one point. I mean, I know that I've had some bad attitudes in the past. We'll just say that. But I want to tell you guys a story of, I feel like, what has really changed my life. There's multiple different stories at Alabama that has changed my life, but the one that comes to mind all the time is my freshman year, right? I don't want to say it was easy, because it wasn't. We were dealing with some injury at the time. Anyway, I remember having to take some time off going into my sophomore year. And at the time, I couldn't take time off because I wasn't prepared enough to go compete. And that's what I had told myself. I was like, I am not who I need to be if I'm not pitching hours and hours of every day, right? So I was basically just in my head constantly setting myself up for failure for that year. I really was. And I did not do well. I mean, I don't even remember the first few games. I mean, that's a lie. I do remember the first game, and it was a decent start. But anyway, it didn't end up great. Well, that's a story for another time. But I wanted to talk about, we were playing in Clearwater, which is in February, right? And we're playing against UCLA. I don't remember making it out of the first inning. If I did, it was maybe the second inning I came out. I've never walked so many people in a row, or you know what? That's a strong statement. But I got shelled left and right. It was just all over the place. And I was just upset, right? And I remember it was so bad, I came off of the field and Murph hugged me, right? Like, that's not weird that he hugged me, but it was weird because it was like I just got pulled from the game, but I'm in such a low spot that I literally got one of the side hugs where it's like, oh, are you okay? Kind of situation, okay? And after, I just literally wanted to crawl. I remember sitting on the bus and I wanted to crawl in a little hole and never talk to anybody. I was crying, which is not necessarily my taste, especially at the time, that to be crying over a game. But I just literally felt like I was at a loss for everything. And I will literally never forget that evening. I believe it was that evening. I just remember Murph pulling me aside on the bus and saying, like, you know, I love you, right? And he asked me like that. And I was like, really? Like, I just remember it being like, why? Like, what? But it's like, it was never about the performance. It was never about my ability to strike people out. And that was so very clear to me. And I could see it in his face that, and don't get me wrong, he's also asked me like, hey, you don't need me to believe in you. You got to believe in you too. So it's like, there was still a balance of like, you got to take care of yourself. But in that moment, I knew that he believed in me. And the next day on the bus, again, in a very loving way, was like, you're getting back out there. Like, you're getting back on the horse. I don't care. Like, that was bad yesterday, but get back out there. And I just remember, not because he put me back in the game, but because the look in his face, I knew that regardless of what has already happened, that he loved me and he's fighting for me. So just that alone was the very start, I feel like, of our player-coach relationship moving forward. But leading all that to say, the following year we play UCLA, I feel like it was a pretty good game, right? And even in that moment, he says the best is yet to come. And it's like, what does that even mean? Like, we feel like we're on top of the world, right? And then a couple years later, you don't make a team that you want to make. I remember getting a hug, the best is yet to come. I'm like a little annoyed because I'm like, Murph, I feel like my life's on the line right now. The best is yet to come. And I'm like, you already know, you don't know what to say. And I don't even play for you anymore. And every single time, every single milestone, you graduate college, you get married, you have a perfect game, you have the worst game of your life, the best is yet to come. And having somebody truly believing in that and genuinely believing in that and instilling it in younger people that wear their heart on the sleeve is life-changing. It really is. It's life-changing. And whenever not only you can empower that in other people, but you live that to your core, is coaching. That is leadership. Whenever you are genuinely leading with love, not only for them, but you are holding yourself accountable to those truths as well, I think is something that is very hard, but the best to do it. When you attack situations as a coach or a leader with empathy, there's accountability and clear communication, you build a form of trust, which is super important when we're playing a game where it feels like, at least at the time, that our heart is literally on the line. So you have that opportunity to really take the bull by its horns and be able to shape other people's lives, not just on the field, but off the field, which is arguably, and I'll argue it all day, the most important. So remember, when you're coaching or leading or whatever role that you're in, that you have the opportunity to make the biggest difference. And it's not just on the field, but it's off the field. And having that standard of excellence for both is going to go such a long way. It really is a roller coaster when you play this game at any level. So having the opportunity to lead a group of people with a constant love is literally life-changing. And I just want to thank everybody so much that takes the time out of their days and out of their lives to give back. It is so, I don't even know if there's another word other than life-changing, because that's what it is for me. And that's experience that I've had, that I know I would not be sitting here talking to you right now if I didn't have people pouring into me. And every word that comes out of my mouth is correlated to the love that I've been given throughout my journey. So I can't thank my coaches enough for not only pushing me, even when I didn't want it, but pushing me to be a better person. my life's changed. So thank you.